ביאור משנה ד', the explanation for משנה ד', משנתנו היא המשך המשנה הקודמת. This Mishnah is a continuation of the previous Mishnah. ונחלקו בתנאים, and there's going to be disagreement in this Mishnah. אם מה ששנינו רחבה כדי לקבל אריח, in the previous Mishnah we said it has to be wide in order to put the brick on top, הכוונה היא לגבי הרוחב בלבד, או גם לגבי כובד האריח. So there's a difference of opinion. It says you need to put a beam over there. And you need to put a beam so you can put a brick on top. The question is, the width, we're caring about the width, that it needs to be wide enough, or do we care about that it can support the weight? So if we talk, some say, no, you don't care if it can support the weight. It doesn't have to support the weight. It just has to be wide enough. And some said, no, it cannot be thin, because then it doesn't support the weight. It has to be wide enough to support the weight. That's the explanation. Okay. So it says, רחבה כדי לקבל אריח, it has to be wide enough in order to receive an אריח. In other words, the beam has to be wide, like this. The question, it can be very thin. And it's very thin, it's not enough to support. That's right, you're going to put bricks on it, it's going to break. Yeah, and it says also it has to be בריאה כדי לקבל אריח. It has to be strong enough in order to put a brick on top. So it says, הקורה מכשירה את המבוי, this beam that is a sign for the מבוי, צריכה להיות לא רק רחבה כדי לקבל אריח, it needs to be not only wide in order for the brick to be on top, אלא גם חזקה כדי לשאת עליה אריח. It has to be strong enough for the brick to be on top. שלא תישבר מחמת כובדו, so it will not break because of its weight. והטעם הוא כמו שבאנו במשנה הקודמת, the reason, like we explained in the previous Mishnah, שצריך שתהיה הקורה נראית כקבועה. Because this beam has to be like it is there, it's established, it's not just somebody who threw a stick up there. שראויה לבנות עליה בניין, it has to be befitting for somebody to think you can build the second floor over there. That's wide. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. It says, רחבה אף על פי שאינה בריאה. It says it has to be wide, and it doesn't have to be strong. Even if it's not going to be strong, it's still good enough. דיה לקורה שתהיה רחבה תופח. It says it's enough that it has the width of one טפח, אף על פי שאין חזקה. Even though it's not strong. רבי יהודה הולך לשיטתו, רבי יהודה goes according to his opinion, שקורה אינו אלא משום מחיצה. It says, a קורה, it is there because it makes a distinction, it makes a separation. ולכן הוא סובר שאף קורה שאינה חזקה כשרה היא, כמפורט במשנה הבאה. And that's why he says, the beam in itself is enough. In other words, he says, when you have a beam over there, you have a separation. You have two reshuyot. You can see, not that you can see. Even if you can't see, you have it. You have two distinct, you have Reshut HaRabim and then you have a Reshut HaYachid. You have the public domain and the private domain. And what makes it a private domain? The beam. The beam makes it a private domain. And I don't care if it's a big beam or a small beam. The beam makes it a private domain. The first opinion says if the beam doesn't look like it's really there, I don't care. It has to look like it's making a private domain. That's the first opinion, that it needs to be strong enough. Rabbi Yehuda says it doesn't need to be strong enough. As long as I can see a different domain, that's enough.